Well, Goody, are you over the frustration and the week that was? And how did you kind of move on from that? And have you been impressed with the way the guys have kind of handled such a strange situation?
Yeah, look, they've been terrific, the players, and as a club, we always thought at some stage that might come to a scenario like this where a game would get suspended or postponed or whatever that may look like. And our real mindset has been, we'll just accept it. What can we achieve and what can we do moving forward? So the players have been in that space, and it started on Sunday in our little match simulation that we had. It was all about looking forward to Geelong, not looking backwards, and getting ourselves ready for a game next week.
Has it disadvantaged you guys?
Look, I think every side at some stage is going to face a situation which isn't ideal, whether it's going into a hub, whether it's having a match postponed, whether it's playing on short turnaround. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about the situation that we found ourselves in. It's not ideal, it's not perfect, but this season's not perfect, and we've got to adapt and deal with it as best we can, but look forward about what we can achieve, and that's what we're going to do this week.
Are you confident, g'day Goody, that you've had enough contact and the boys have been able to crash and bash enough?
Yeah, we were really fortunate actually. Heading into last week's game, we had an extra quarter of footy even, in terms of our match simulation then, and we got a full game in at the MCG. So, our preparation's been strong. Clearly, the restrictions have changed, and the non-contact training is difficult. It's different. It feels a bit weird, but I think as coaches, we planned the best session we could and achieved what we could within today's session. So, it certainly won't be an excuse on the weekend.
Just on that, the COVID rules being what they are spread out over 3 ovals today. You're having to get creative to get a main training session in?
Yeah, look, obviously with the contact rules being that you've got to be in your groups for the contact session, only 2 groups on an oval at once. We're really fortunate at Casey to have 3 ovals available to us. So we separated our group at the end of training, put them onto the 3 ovals, and gave them a really good block of contact work. So that's a real advantage to being out at Casey. It's an area and a facility out here that we're really fortunate to have. So we see that as a bit of an advantage in this space.
Has Nathan Jones been able to train his way back into calculations?
Yeah, look, he's getting close. For a long period just before, obviously COVID hit, and obviously coming out, he's had a little Achilles and calf issue. He's working incredibly hard, and probably in the last 4 or 5 days, he's really started to turn his training around and put himself back in the selection mix. So, he's certainly available for us, if we decide to go that way. If not, we're continuing to make sure that he's got his Achilles and his calf right and get him up to really full fitness and ready to go.
Just a quick one being out here today, Goody. I noticed Harley moved around groups a little bit. Is he going to be right to play Sunday? He certainly wasn't with the prime midfielders and seemed to chop and change a little bit.
Yeah, look, he'll be fully fit. He'll be ready to go. Obviously selection's tight, so we're still working Harley back to his full fitness and his full match condition. There's clearly a lot of expectations on Harley to be in the team every week. That certainly won't be the case. He's a player that we want to see as a long-term player, and a player that we want to, make sure he can sustain the full rigours of an AFL season. So he's still working his way back to that full fitness and full form that he knows he's capable of, and we know he's capable of. And he's progressing well. But, clearly we've got to continue to just limit the expectations about selection every week.
What have you worked on, Simon, from the Carlton game? It was obviously so long ago now, or it seems that long ago. What were the main focuses to come out of that in terms of the performance, particularly that second half?
Yeah, look, obviously, in our first 45, 50 minutes of the game was as dynamic around the ball as we've been for a long, long time. So, we really took the positives out of that. But, in the second half, we wanted to make sure we got a bit safe with the footy. There's no question that we got a bit uneasy with the way we were moving the ball. So we worked on that. We've also worked on how we link that offence to how we defend. Clearly, we've got to stand up a little bit more in the turnover game. And it's an area of the game that we're continuing to work on. So that was probably the areas that we've really focused in on post the Carlton game.
The Cats have lost Reece Stanley this week. Is that sort of an area where Max Gawn can get on top and you can kind of exploit them?
We certainly, enjoy having Max in our team. He's one of the best ruckmen in the competition. So, but one thing about Max, he doesn't take his opponents lightly, whether it's Darcy Ford or they bring a Blixarves into to ruck against Max. We'll have to wait and see. But it's certainly an area of our game that we think is a strength and one we like to get an advantage in every week.
Do you prepare differently for those types of guys? Darcy Fort, Radaglia, potentially Blixarves as well. They're kind of different types, I guess.
Yeah, they are. They're all different ruckmen. Obviously one can run incredibly well. One's a real power athlete. So Max will do his preparation. We'll prepare as a team for all those different scenarios. We spoke about that this morning as a coaching group about how the game might look under different scenarios. So we'll be prepared, but they are a unique difference in the way they'll ruck. So we'll be prepared for all those things.
The other one of your ruckman was Luke Jackson. What did you make of his first game? And you left him out of the team last week. Where's he at?
Yeah, Luke, he's a bit unlucky to miss last week. He competed really strongly early for us against Carlton. He's going to continue to improve as a forward and no question his long-term future's in the ruck for us. He's going to be a really quality big man. But, I guess last week we had a look at our forward line. We wanted to go a little bit more with a little bit more medium size, obviously Mitch Hannon coming in. So that's something that we'll continue to assess from week to week. We've got some tools that are available to us, but we've also got some mediums that we haven't had available for a long period of time and can add a different dynamic to our forward half.